Hello, we're gonna start talking about the approaching way to teach, which is for me is inductive approach, also known in inductive reasoning. Starts with the observations and theories are posed towards the end of the research process as a result of observations. Inductive research involves the search for patterns from observation and the development of explanations, theories for those patterns through series of hypotheses. No theories or hypotheses would apply in inductive study at the beginning of the research, and the researcher is free in terms of altering the direction for the study. This approach aims to generate meanings from the data sets collected in order to identify patterns and relationships to build a theory after the research process had commenced. The way I feel more comfortable teaching is inductively, as I have always believed that the students are the most important part of the process. Sorry. Talking about this way to approach, I will be giving the examples and ask the students to work out the rules for using it and practice it later on. So in the classroom, inductive approaches to presenting new language are commonly found in course books and form part of a general strategy to engage learners in what they learn. Some learners may need introduction to inductive approaches, but after that, it will be very effective to give them a confident vision on how to learn. For example, learners listen to a conversation that includes examples of the use of the third condition. The teacher checks that the students understand the meaning of its use through checking learners' comprehension of the listening text, and only after this focuses on the form using examples from the text to get the rules about the form, its use, and its pronunciation. Furthermore, as a teacher, you will be able to find out if they have learned the function and the way to use it. This always depends on the age and the level of motivation they are, as this also works on the pronunciation, for example, as I said before, and it's very important to adapt also yourself to the student's needs. I will normally work with my laptop, as I find it the easiest way and the most useful method to present exercises and do them for the students. They will engage very well as they are very familiar with all the technology stuff nowadays. So, talking about the method to teach, I'll be using the communicative method to teach. I'll be focusing on the meaning of the message and not that much on the grammar. Perfection, as this is more functional. They will be having more interaction with the foreign language, with each other, or any other method. Learning strategies for understanding and using their personal experiences to learn and practice language. The communicative approach emphasizes the ability to communicate the message in terms of its meaning. instead of concentrating exclusively on grammatical perfection or phonetics. Therefore, the understanding of a second language is evaluated in terms of how much the learners have developed their communicative abilities and competencies, which I see very clear because it's what everyone needs now. Because I focus more on the meaning of something, because you might give them the rule, but they don't know how to use it or the function, so they won't be able to use it anyway. The communicative language teaching method has some characteristics that distinguish from the previous methods. So one is the understanding occurs through active student interaction in the foreign language. Second is teaching occurs by using authentic English texts. 3. Students not only learn the second language, but they also learn the strategies for understanding. 4. Importance is given to learners' personal experiences and situations, which are considered as an invaluable contribution to the content of the lesson. So the more personal and if the experience or the situation for the students, the more attention they're going to have, and that'll be easier to teach them. And 5, using the new language in context creates learning opportunities outside the classroom. So just for example, just say if you have a classroom of 5 people, a group, and you would like to teach them, so just go to the bar, go to the beach, go to somewhere and make it personal, and that be like it in a context that everyone would be, emerge in that foreign language acquisition. And in terms of using the method, we need to say that the most common educational model applied in the context of the communicative method is the functional notional approach, which emphasizes the organization of the syllabus. This breaks down the use of language into 5 functional categories that can be more easily analyzed. For example, we got personal, without feelings, etc. Interpersonal, there are social and working relationships. Directive, influencing others. Referential, reporting about things, events, people, or language itself. And imaginative, creativity and artistic expression. So English in the future. Although English will continue to spread, its functions internationally will be reduced, and its major role will be that of an international language. This development will influence ELT syllabus and material design, creating new demand on language teachers. So teacher training programs will have to adjust accordingly to meet the changing needs for the profession, for the job. We all know that English is now the global language, and connecting people around the world, and the way it is taught is changing. Developments in technology are breaking down barriers and opening up new ideas and ways of teaching. A set of internationally agreed standards for the training of teachers is needed to ensure that qualifications gained locally have currency in all parts of the world. So we need to have a common. In the future, I see myself teaching with the same aim. So I really hope that I can carry on teaching more functional. The students can start at a very young age using the communicative method. I'm aware that times change and it's changing very fast. So I'm on board with the fact that I will have to use different devices to get students' attention and adapt myself to them. I'll be working with the students anywhere using the modern technology as the virtual reality device, for example, with different backgrounds, different sessions of cooking, football, tennis, fishing, or any kind of game, depending on the interest of the student. So you might need to ask them what they like, and then just adapt yourself and create an activity that they love, so you come across much better. However, the trick for me is to work on the language acquisition, as that doesn't involve that much of explicit teaching. It could be boring sometimes. I would get more chances to do everything more functional, and I get to practice writing, reading, speaking, and pronunciation with all the modern technical devices, and make the classes more fun and get the students' attention more easily.